What if I told you that there has been a priesthood on this earth, hidden, unseen, and unrecognized since the very beginning of time? And what if I told you it's finally being unsealed today? Since Eden, a sacred order has been waiting, a priesthood of power, authority, and consecration that's meant to prepare the earth for God's final divine plan. Most Christians have never even heard of it, and yet the very moment you understand it, everything changes. How you pray, how you worship, and how you walk in holiness and intimacy with God. And I want you to watch this video all the way to the end, because this revelation will not only enhance your faith, but it will also ignite your calling. And by the end of this video, you'll see why God is raising his final priesthood, and you'll know if you're part of it. Most Christians think of Adam and Eve as simply the first humans, innocent and perfect. But the Bible tells us there's far more. Eden was a temple, a sacred mountain, and humans were called to serve God there like priests in the tabernacle. They were to guard the presence of God, offering worship and obedience, carrying authority over creation under God's instruction. Imagine the rivers of Eden flowing like holy waters, the tree of life at the center, and Adam and Eve walking in the presence of God as priests, interceding, serving, and maintaining the holiness in the garden. They weren't just living in Eden, they were standing in priestly authority. Every act of obedience was ministering to God. Every word and every choice was a spiritual responsibility. But there was also a test, and that test changed everything. When the first priest failed, it set in motion consequences that would affect all of human history. When sin entered, humanity lost more than innocence. We lost priesthood. Adam and Eve were expelled from Eden and separated from the presence of God. And the mountain temple was now inaccessible. So humanity's access to priestly authority was blocked. Notice this, that the fall wasn't just moral, it was cosmic. It disrupted the original order of how God meant things to be. When humans were cast from Eden, they were removed from the space where God dwelled fully, the space of intercession and presence. That separation is why later Israel needed the tabernacle and priests. It was a shadow of what was lost in Eden. And even in Israel, the priests were only a partial restoration. There was an ultimate priesthood hidden that was still to come in the future. Look at Israel's tabernacle and then later temple. Every detail, the altar, the lampstand, the incense, was symbolic, and it pointed back to Eden. The priests were stewards of God's presence, but they could only offer partial access. The fullness of priestly authority remained hidden. Scholars explain Israel's priesthood was a shadow of the original heavenly order. The priest mediated God's presence, but the ultimate priesthood was still held in reserve, awaiting fulfillment. And this hidden priesthood is not just historical, it's prophetic. It's coming to light now, and you might be a part of it. Jesus didn't just fulfill prophecy. He restored Eden's original priesthood. Hebrews 7 calls him a priest after the order of Melchizedek. This isn't just about salvation, it's about authority. Jesus is the ultimate high priest. And through him, we are invited to share in a priesthood that was hidden since Eden. Stepping into this priesthood today isn't hidden. It shows up in our everyday choices, in the ways we serve God and carry his presence into the world. Now, the final priesthood is being unsealed. Revelation 14:4 describes the 144,000 set apart, undefiled, and carrying worship to God and authority in the last days. They mirror the Edenic priesthood, holy, consecrated, and carrying incense before God. This is the priesthood of power, holiness, and spiritual authority that has been hidden since Eden. Those who step into it are walking into the original plan that God has for humanity. Every choice, every moment of consecration is a return to the priesthood lost in Eden. And this is your invitation. your calling, and your destiny. So what does this mean for you today? It means that priesthood isn't just about robes or titles or rituals. It's about living consecrated lives, walking in authority and standing in God's presence as his ambassadors. It means that the order hidden since Eden is now being unsealed, and God is calling his people to step into it. So ask yourself this: are you living as a priest before God? This is God's final priesthood that's been hidden since Eden, and it's now being unsealed. Stand in your calling and serve God in holiness. Carry the authority that God intended you to have from the very beginning. The time to do that is now. Watch these videos next, and I'll see you there.